Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your old buddy Dietrich, and today I am coming to you from a very wet and rainy Southern California road, and we are going to do a test drive video on a 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300. This is just the standard GLC 300. It's not a coupe, it's not a 4MATIC. It does have a few options on it, but from a powertrain perspective, it is a base model. So 2-liter turbo engine with a mild hybrid system. Standard horsepower rating 255. Standard torque rating 295. I've experienced this engine before in a GLE, which of course is the larger variant of this car. I found it to be not quite enough motor for the GLE because the GLE is bigger and heavier, but for this GLC and its smaller size and smaller price tag, I think the engine does a fine job. I still wish it was a little more refined. It's disappointing to me that Mercedes-Benz, who certainly have the expertise and the wherewithal to make some of the best engines in the whole entire car business, cranks out such an uninspired turbocharged 4-cylinder and then proceeds to put it in so many models. But it's a little bit more acceptable at this price point, and at least the transmission, which is the 9G Tronic 9-speed automatic, is fabulous. This may be the best pure automatic transmission you can buy in a new car. I used to give that title to the 8HP ZF automatic that's been around forever, but I think this 9G Tronic might be even better than that. So, fabulous transmission, kind of a ho-hum engine. That's the story on this car with the powertrain. Everything else is pretty good. The handling is sharper than I would have initially expected. The ride is comfortable. You have some road feel, at least for a compact Mercedes-Benz SUV. But overall, this car has actually surprised me with its dynamics. It's better than I was expecting, and I would say pretty much on par with an entry-level BMW X3. The X3 has always kind of sat atop the sort of sportiness throne of the compact luxury SUV world, maybe slightly shared with the Acura RDX, but the X3s are so much more popular that it's kind of the king. But this GLC, as far as steering responsiveness and handling and well-controlled body motions, it's right there too. It is very confidence-inspiring on a rainy day. I've been driving this car for about a day and a half, and it's been raining pretty much the whole time, so this is the environment that I have experienced it in. My only real complaint, aside the fact that from outside the car, when it's idling, that 2-liter 4-cylinder sounds like a frickin' diesel. My only real complaint about the dynamics is there is a mild hesitation right off of the line when you're at a dead stop and you give it some throttle. It's got this weird hesitation to it that you would definitely get used to if you drove it every day, but when you first get in it, it's like, what is wrong with this thing? Is it auto start stopping on me? Is it doing something? I have a feeling it has something to do with the mild hybrid system, but that's my only complaint about the car dynamics-wise. Everything else, the ride is good, it's refined, it handles well. The automatic windshield wipers work pretty well. They do stutter a little bit, as Mercedes windshield wipers often do, but you know, they're keeping it clear right now. See, when you give it a little throttle, you can hear the engine too, and it's somehow it feels more refined than in the GLE 350 that I drove, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it just suits this car better because it had to work a little harder and it was under more load to drag around that big old GLE. And in this car, it's a little bit less stressed because there's not quite as much weight and wind resistance to deal with. But yeah, Mercedes, you guys need to work on making this engine sound better, at least from the outside when it's idling. Because everybody in the friggin' auto industry now uses 2-liter direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's hard. If you can think of a manufacturer that doesn't offer one, put it in the comments. Subaru is the only one I can think of off the top of my head. And they have a 2.4-liter turbocharged direct injection 4-cylinder. So everybody has an engine like this, and you can hear the injectors. That's part of the direct, what you're hearing is the injectors opening and closing from the direct fuel injection system. But with Mercedes, it's especially pronounced. And I don't understand how BMW, Audi, Acura, Ford, everyone can make 2-liter direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinders that sound a little bit more refined than Mercedes-Benz. But I'll get off my soapbox on that one right now. We'll leave that alone. Because for most people, they might not notice or care, but because I'm in and out of so many different cars all the time, these are the kind of things that you notice as differences between the automobiles and the automakers. And I've maintained for a long time that Mercedes really does their best work when they can paint with whatever color they like, meaning the MSRP is very high, so they can put a nice V8 or even a V12 in there, and then you're going to get one of the best engines that's ever been built. And if you are in the price point where they're selling you a 4-cylinder, you're not going to get anything special. And this car is a little bit over $50,000 MSRP wise. It's got some options, but not a ton. But I have to say, it really does feel like a luxury car in here. The way that the switches, you interact with those, it's like not a touch switch. You just kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it feels very upmarket in here. Even though this is not real leather, it feels and looks very high quality. I like a lot of the trim. The car looks nice on the inside and the outside. It feels like a luxury product. It doesn't have adaptive cruise control. That does kind of stick in my craw a little bit. But that's a German car thing. All right, let's give it the beans on a wet road. It's very sure-footed on a wet road, and that's pretty good. I imagine it's very sure-footed on a dry road too. I just haven't driven on one yet because we're experiencing another one of these atmospheric rivers, as they call them, which basically means we get a whole bunch of rain in Southern California. Do a refinement check. That's 68 miles an hour on a okay road, but not a great road in the rain. Honestly, the noise I'm getting the most of is the rain hitting the windshield, so the tire noise and the wind noise is relatively muted, as you would expect from a luxury car. I would say so far, in the day and a half I've spent with it, this GLC actually has exceeded my expectations. It's a nicer car than I would have given it credit for. And sometimes it's the little things in life that make you happy. The very fancy ambient interior lighting is great, and it does make the car feel expensive. This touchscreen here is fantastic. The Burmester sound system that's in this particular example, which is part of an option package, is a fabulous stereo system. And, you know, got that 3-pointed star. You know where you're at when you're in a Benz. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all... Oh! I turned on the Mercedes. Hey, Mercedes.
To enroll in the beta program, please enable the beta program on the Mercedes Me Connect app, then enable Hey Mercedes with ChatGPT in the available beta section. I've just sent through a QR code notification. You can scan the QR code to go to the Mercedes Me Connect app. To view the notification, swipe down from the top of your screen or tap the notification pop-up.
I don't want to do that.
Please scan this only when parked.
Yeah, it does have voice commands, but they're not that great. Mercedes. Let's see. 103.5 FM.
Tiredness, nausea, sore.
All right, that worked. What else can we try? Find me a gas station.
Here is what I found. Where do you want to go?
Oh, found me some gas stations. Cancel.
Please repeat.
Cancel. Who was the Chancellor of Germany in 1939, and what car did he get driven around in when he did parades?
Sorry, that didn't work. Apparently, the internet connection is not sufficient at the moment.
I'll bet it's not. I'll bet you don't want to answer that question. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all... That... Leave me alone.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
Leave me alone. No, I did turn it off. All right, well, since I'm just sitting in here talking about talking to, I should say, the voice commands, probably about enough for this test drive video, I think. Overall, this is a very nice car to drive, and I will have a full review of it. I'll put a link to that in the description. If you have any questions or comments or anything else, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. And as always, thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.